Welcome back to Mountain Line News. I'm your lead anchor, Cameron Builder.
And I'm Brody Fugit. We've had another great week at Pineville and are so excited to show you what's going on at our school. Frisk launched its Man Up and Read initiative last week. Men in the community will be coming in to read our students in the hope that they will develop a love of reading. Check out the video.
I tried to wear cool suits like you too. Did Pete cry? No, goodness no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my blue shoes. I love my blue shoes. I love my brown shoes and drinking coffee. I love blueberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Blue. Blue. Did Pete cry?
He's up in the tree in Joshua. And I asked for some apple juice to go with it. When you give him the juice, he'll drink it all up. This is my buddy.
Mr. Gilley's aerospace engineering classes blasted off into space last week. They built a model Mars rover and learned how to control it. They were able to drive it all over their model red planet, gathering data and exploring the volcano, just like the real VEX rover. This week, our sports segment is combining with our Superintendent Spotlight. Two of our athletes, Sawyer Thompson and Nadine Johnson, attended the KHSAA Summit Student Leadership Conference in Indianapolis. Check out the interview.
All right, guys, welcome to this week's Superintendent Spotlight. With me today, I have two of our students that I'm very proud of that represented us in the National Federation High School Student Leadership Summit. They had a great experience up there, and we're here to talk to them and learn a little bit about what they did and what they're going to be doing in the future through that. But I've got Nadine Johnson with me and Sawyer Thompson. Welcome, guys. Appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of it we saw on social media concerning that y'all were selected, and it was a process. If you would tell us a little bit about the process and how that took place and how y'all became a part of the statewide student leadership team.
So like we had to write the application to be able to be selected by the commissioner's team that he had. It was Butch Cope and Sarah, what's her name? Bradbaugh. So we filled out our application, had some recommendations, and they felt like we were two of the top in the state to be selected for the team.
Yeah, it was a very good process. It kind of felt like a job interview almost. For example, they asked me, being, doing Gear Up leadership and all of this stuff, how has that helped me embrace my leadership role and different things we do around the school. And so it felt really, really good, and to be selected and not just have one but two people from Pineville, that's a very rare experience to have two selected. So it was a very good process.
And then when you were selected, can you just name some of the schools that maybe some of the other students that were on the team that you met initially on your trip? Where did they come from?
We had Beechwood, Bishop, Brossart. There was one from Scott County, Scott High. You have any?
Rowan County.
Elizabethtown.
Yeah, Elizabethtown.
It's ironic we play Bishop Brossart tomorrow, and they were on the team. So I know with Sawyer that we drove him up. I think what was it, on a Saturday morning, and sort of let him off the KHSAA offices in Lexington. And then what happened from there?
We did some icebreakers at the like main meeting area in Lexington, and then we got on vans. We headed up. We actually stopped at a Wendy's and ate, and then we went straight to the room and we got checked in, met our roommate. My roommate was actually from Honduras, so it was a good experience to be able to see what happens from there. And then we all came together that night, and they had like the opening session.
Were you able to communicate with your roommate, or did he speak English?
Yeah, he actually came. So he was at academy, the Culver, the military academy. So he was there. This was actually his first time that he had got to see his like people from Honduras, his class. So he had been away from them, so it was good to see them. And then he got to meet another person.
Yeah.
In the same
And what city did you all travel to from Lexington?
We traveled to Indianapolis.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, and it was a very fun experience. For Saturday, we had to meet tons of new people that we have never met before. There were 16 of us, but one was sick, so we were with 15 people, and like Sawyer said, we did the icebreakers. We went on the van. We got to interact more, but then when we got there, we all split up, and we had random roommates, and mine was from Pennsylvania. And then there was when there were so many students from everywhere. You had Canada, Honduras, Hawaii, and it was such a fun experience because you met all these people, and they're student athletes as well, and you've heard sports that you've never seen before or heard about, and you got to kind of ask about their culture and how everything goes around there.
Well, I appreciate you all, and you know, I know that you had to step out of your comfort zone a little bit and step up and be leaders, and that takes a lot of courage. Yeah. So very proud of you all, and I appreciate you striving to try to be better leaders, and I appreciate what you're bringing back to not only the state of Kentucky, but especially right here in our own community. And so this week's Superintendent Spotlight, Nadine Johnson, Sawyer Thompson. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Our classes are in full swing, and our classroom reporter, Claire Strange, went around to find out what our Mountain Lions are learning.
What do you got going on in your classroom this week?
This week in 6th grade, we're multiplying decimals, and in 7th grade, we're subtracting integers.
Okay, thank you.
We're working on annotating and digging into evidence so we can prepare to do some writing.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Yates, what do you have going on in your classroom this week?
So this week, my 7th graders are going to be doing an archaeological dig, and my 6th graders are working on learning their parts of speech.
That sounds great. Thank you. Mr. Gilly, what are you doing in your classroom this week?
So this week we are doing a paper tower challenge, and they're set up all over the room. And then later in the week, we are going to do a Mars rover challenge where they explore a volcano on Mars, and it's set out on a table as well.
Mr. Redmond, what are you doing in your classroom this week?
Well, we're learning about current events, things that's going on in the government, and things that's going on in the news.
That's great. Thank you. This week launched the newest part of Mountain Lion News, the Mountain Lion Media Network.
Pinewood's got to stay alive. Knox chase it. Pinewood takes it! Pinewood takes it! They are first seed in the district, y'all.
Our sports broadcaster, Haley Mills, along with a host of other students, have been calling the home games live on our Facebook page. If you haven't already, be sure to like and follow the page so you never have to miss a game again.
I think we might actually get a weather forecast this week. Let's kick it to CEO Clumsy Phil and Mr. Knorr.
This is time for Mountain Lion News, and this is Clumsy Phil, and I'm Cannoli. Today is Monday, the 4th, which is Labor Day, so there will be no school. It is 87 degrees out and mostly sunny.
Okay, before this punt goes on any further, I just want to address something. I want to get the elephant out of the room. There was some jabroni last week that come in, and I have zero clue who he is. I don't even know who the guy is. Some news anchor come on here and said, oh yeah, my demands were unreasonable, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what this punk is. I do not care what he says. But basically, if people do not know who I am the CEO, and if people do not respect that, then I'm going to go out here and tell who I am. If people do not understand who I am, then here it is. I am the jabroni beaten, the chicken
Today
eating.
is Tuesday, the 5th. It is 88 degrees out and partly sunny.
Okay, I mean, but I am the jabroni beaten, chicken eating, trailblazing, eyebrow
Today
raising.
is Wednesday, the 6th. 89 degrees out and partly sunny.
Like I said, I'm the jabroni beating, chicken eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, stronger than a bear.
Today is Thursday. It is the 7th. It is 86 degrees out and partly sunny.
faster than a buck, stronger than a
And
bear.
today is Friday. It is 84 degrees out and partly sunny.
The biggest thing to hit Pineville, Kentucky, 'cause they're sports. Get out of here, punk. I'm done with this. Goodbye.
Time for everybody's favorite segment, Jay North on the Street.
If you had one wish, what would it be?
Well, let me think for a second. I would like for my wish to have, for my dog Punky to have puppies. It'll be shows. I wish I was shows. I want to be a football player. Maybe a grown-up. Be the cheerleader in college. I want to have a unicorn kitty. To go to Dinosaur Land. It would be to go to Florida. To have a baby sister. To be a mom.
Thank you.
To have a sister. A dinosaur. To get a phone. I would be a Power Ranger.
Thank you.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Spread my wings and fly away.
For the H family to have unlimited lives. I wish I could go to the beach. Getting a dog. I want to go to Disneyland. A doggy. Disney World. To have 1,000 cats. No. What?
Just meow.
Pet. $1,000. To have the Oculus Metal Quest 3. To have $1 million. Go Tweetsy. A kitten. Going to Florida.
If you had one wish, what would it be?
I wish I had 10 million of cats. I wish I lived with Mr. Beast. To have infinite forever dollars. A free supplies of V-Bucks. To have superpowers. To make it to the NFL. To be the smartest kid.
You can do that.
Yes. Go Bora Bora.
Ooh, nice. Thank you.
Going to Bora Bora. Be Spider-Man. Dirt bike. Going swimming. To see the Bengals play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. To stay with him every day.
Thank you.
I don't wish. I make dreams into reality.
We have a few announcements this Saturday. Our volleyball team will be playing in the All-A tournament starting at 10 a.m. Come out to Lane Camp and support our team.
Tomorrow, the sophomores are taking a field trip to the state capitol. You need to be at school at 7:30. The bus will be leaving at 7:45.
Wednesday is open house from 4:30 to 6:30. Be sure to stop by and get your progress reports.
Students who are a part of the book club, you will meet in the library on Thursday at 11. Please bring your books with you. There will be a prize for the students who scores the highest on the book quiz. Only those who have signed up will be able to attend. However, if you want to join future meetings, please see Ms. North.
Friday, we will have a Stop V program. Middle school will go at 9 to 9:55, high school at 10:55 to 11:50, and 3rd through 5th grade at 12:10 to 1.
As always, we're looking to expand our team and bring some new creative ideas. Please contact Mr. and Mrs. North if you want to be a part of the best news crew around.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for extra content and be the first to know when Mountain Lion News drops each and every Sunday.
We will see you next week.